welcome to the show. I was messing around with the technical thing right before, so like all of the time.
Welcome to Glitched Happy Hour on this Sunday, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, dear.
Thank you.
We're very fortunate to have you in our lives.
Let's not get sappy. We're not that type of show. So we're deciding whether we're going to do a Father's Day one, but we were like, you know what? It gives an excuse to drink for Father's Day anyway, before playing and doing stuff later. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to cover 3. We did talk about only doing 2, but then she's like, no, you should get sloshed. So then we decided to add in a 3rd for fun, which, yeah, that's fine. We'll drink it throughout the day. But if you're new here, say hi. If you're not new here, and so we know you're out there, again, feel free to say hi. Like we said, this Glitch Happy Hour is part of the Glitch 2600 series, so by all means, come in and like our page. But you probably don't know us if you are new here, so I'm just going to let you know who I am. So I'm Brian, and I'll be your co-host. And then you can introduce yourself.
I'm Erin, and I'm the other co-host.
I just realized that I ended up with the microphone partially in the scene there.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's okay.
That's what we get for setup. We were doing a video shoot yesterday. Well, yesterday? Friday. With Wine Styles, getting ready for a cool bonbon class. We learned lots of stuff about making bonbons.
Yummy.
And got to sample afterwards, and that was great. So if you're curious about that, go over to Wine Styles West Glen's page, and you could still sign up. There's still time. And you could become part of that, and you'll learn, and you'll get a mold and the chocolate and everything as part of that class. And it takes a little bit of work, but
it's worth it in the end. Yes.
Yeah. And it's a great family, friend building. You could do all sorts. It's just a really actually fun thing to do. Yeah. Like I said, it's work, but it's really cool and stuff to see the process. So by all means, you should definitely check that out.
And that video will be on Tuesday. So you can order your kit. Tuesday is the class where the video will walk you through every step.
Okay. But now we're going to get back to our show. Our show, like I said, this is the Glitch Happy Hour. But part of the Glitch 2600 series, Glitch 2600 is where we cover different tech questions, geekery. So on Tuesdays, Thursdays, whichever days we feel like there is a tech Q&A. We're still trying to come up with a good name for that one. But basically, you can get your questions answered live on the air about general geekery questions, computer questions, photography, videography, all those. You can submit them ahead of time through the page. Just go to Glitch 2600 on Facebook or on YouTube, and then send those questions or find a past video, and you can comment them on there. If you don't want to be called out on it, you can just message and say, hey, I've got this question, but I don't want you to reference me, in which case we'll put it on the air, but we won't say who you are, and then I'll let you know later. Otherwise, you can jump on then, and you can see when we post that up, we try to give a little bit of notice. Otherwise, we have our bits and bytes. Bits are just very small little packets of information, anywhere up to about 5 minutes, covering simple things like how to turn on and off your Wi-Fi on your phone, your AirDrop, different things like that. Certain settings maybe for your camera, certain settings for your watch. Where bytes go into way deeper detail, it's more like a 20 to 40 minute, sometimes an hour show on that one, to deep dive into a topic like wireless. We just helped our good friends Brian and Andrea set up their wireless, a new Orbi mesh at their house. So it would be something like that, where we would talk about why they wanted an Orbi mesh. Would they want Wi-Fi 6? Is there a reason for that, or should they wait? Different topics along there. Is a mesh right for you? What's the Internet of Things? That's what our bytes are. Right now we have a gamer series out there talking about League of Legends, and we'll be adding more. If you're on YouTube, we've got a second episode coming out. You can sneak peek it by going on Facebook, where we have the full episode there for our second. But again, if you're new out there, let us know what you're drinking, what you're doing.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, you said it before I even popped it up on there. So you were like, what the heck is going on? I'll say, I moved that microphone away. Well, it's just going to stay unseen. Well, thank you. But we want to know what you're drinking. And loved having you join along, because otherwise we're just going to start through them because, well, we want to get to enjoying the Father's Day. And But I will say, if you guys have any suggestions for the shows, drinks, things you want different, let us know. We'll take a look and see what we can do. But remind us, what are we going to cover for the first one?
All right. So our first one for tonight is going to be DrugStore Cowboy.
And that's by
Franklin Street Brewery. Yes. This one is in Manchester, Iowa. Don't think I've ever been there, but maybe at some point when we go up northeast, we can make a stop and visit that.
I don't know if we've been there. Oh, I got a blurry sheet on that one. I caught the wrong one on there. Yeah. Whoops. So we're just going to kind of show. Still deciding what to have. Oh, well, if I don't have this part popped up in front. Still deciding what to have. Well, we've got some good choices. There's lots of good stuff out there. As I know you've got good stuff. You don't have to worry about it. I saw a bunch of people posting color TV just recently, and that reminded me when you brought that, and how great that was.
That one was really good.
But we're going to talk about Franklin Street here, and it's a New England IPA. When we've talked about this before, we've kind of said, hey, what is a New England IPA? So just to kind of show that, I'm going to pop that up so we can see it. I'm sorry, you got blocked.
That's okay.
Yeah, we'll see if I can pause. We might replay it, but you can kind of read that up there and see what a New England IPA is. And you don't need me to read it. I can just pause it and you can see it. Sorry. See, can we just hide? You could like pop out from it. Check that out. Hello. But basically, New England IPAs you'll hear along that kind of hazy line. There's lots of ones that can be hazy, but a New England IPA is known to be hazy. So as we kind of show that, I'm going to borrow this and pop it over into the beer can photo, and we'll show the beer kids, and we'll pop the other thing out of the way because no one needs to see that now. So you can see them there. That's what the hazy looks like as it gets close to Tapper and Hoppy there, your little trivia. So you can see what that hazy looks like. But again, that's what New England IPA is a hazy for the most part. It's an unfiltered IPA. So it's going to be a little bit more fruit forward. You're going to see a lot of times the description of juicy when it comes to that.
And fruity. And you get that fruit on the nose when you first go for a drink. And it's pretty tasty. I like this one.
Pretty tasty. So I'm flipping over just so I can show on my Untapped because I'm having a little bit of other technical difficulties, but we'll bring that up. Flame that over. So yeah, just to show you, the DrugStore Cowboy, 6%, 55 IBU. Again, it's an IPA, so you're going to see higher IBUs, but that doesn't mean that it is bitter. Even as much as that international bitterness unit can be higher, it's not really going to be that higher. And as she said, it's in Manchester, Iowa. They do a pretty good putting some of their description in here. So as you see, loads of light kettle hopping and a dry hop of 2.5 pounds per barrel, which is quite a bit.
Wow.
Gives us what we call the DrugStore Cowboy. And the grain is a blend of the pale malt, maris, and oats, wheat, and pretty much my favorite hops that I've come to find out is I always love the Citra, Galaxy, and El Dorado. So it only makes sense that I like this beer because of that.
Right.
And then I just love showing some of the fun photos, but this is one of the signs you can see in there where it shows the DrugStore Cowboy. I love the guy sitting on the little quarter.
The quarter horse. Oh.
Pretty good there. But you can get a little space for the can and even some more coloring, and you can even see the Franklin Street kind of logo back there. If I can.
Oh, fun. That's cool.
So I always love seeing that type of stuff. I was hoping we could see a little bit more of the brewery since we weren't there, but that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we're just going to come back to me.
This is a good one. I enjoy this one a lot.
I'll say. So, yeah, we lucked out in that Matt, the day he came in and said, hey, you want this. Didn't really say you should get this. He was just said,
you guys should
basically
get this one.
That I'm having this. That I'm already paying for it. Just take it home then.
Right.
So which I agree. It was really good. I've not been as I've been kind of pulling back from hazies because there's just been so many.
True.
But DrugStore is one of those ones, and just like Color TV, that just really has drawn me kind of a little bit back into it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, there's so many hazies out there that you kind of have to find the ones that you really like and, stick to those. Maybe try a new one every once in a while, but stick to the ones that you really like because there's so many on the menus out and about.
From the hazy, love the one you're with is what you're trying to say.
Yes, love the one you're with. And I think this is our last can of this one. I think
I'm going to have to check the beer fridge.
Yeah, we finished.
I'll walk down.
I think we finished the rest of that pack. I think this is our last one, so we will be enjoying this one.
Before we, right before the show is what she was trying to say.
No.
We finished the last of the pack right before we just did all of them in one shot. But while I'm thinking of it, we're going to pop on over, and then I'm going to show you guys. Don't forget you can follow us on Untapped. But even easier, just hover over that code. Or you can search for me at Glitch 2600. The really cool thing about that on Untapped is that we put up our Glitch Happy Hour we put it in the wish list, but it's just so everyone can see it. So you can see what we're going to have. You can see what we've ranked past ones, which I think is pretty cool. The other thing is, while I come back here, I like to remind people you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Then I won't have to use the handy dandy search. Once we get 100 people, we can get the vanity one and put the name up. But otherwise, you can hover over that QR code over there too. One of these days, I'm going to get my direction correctly.
I know, it's flipped.
But if you hover over that with your smartphone, if you're watching this on, just so you know, you can watch the show on your TV. And we can talk about that on our Tech Tuesday one. How you can do that using the apps with your Apple TV, Fire Stick, different things like that. You can watch the show there. Because you can bring up the YouTube, and when we simulcast it, you can use the Facebook one. In fact, we're going to be doing some simulcasting of a show this week at Beer Styles. Not our show, but we're going to be doing the Wine Styles one there, the tequila tasting.
Tequila tasting.
We're going to shoot it at Wine Styles and broadcast it over at the other. But just want to show you guys there. And then if you're on the YouTube side, then come follow us on Facebook. Pretty easy at Glitch 2600. You could tell from the sign over there. If you don't know how to spell it, if you don't know how to spell it, then there might be some other stuff I have to do But we did make some cool new graphics for it, so I still like using that. So we could go like that, which hides me. I got to figure out where to put that properly. And then while I'm still having fun with it, we've got that one to like and subscribe. We're gonna come up with other cool ones and some logos, but
I do like those.
But it's me just playing. Now, we did pick up a new camera too, which that will increase, how hopefully good this looks. I just realized I've got my hair light. I'm walking off scene.
Oh, yeah.
Ta-da! Now I look
there
better. Look at that. Now I glow.
Now you have hair and not falling into the shadow.
What color pony do you want when you get to 100? Maybe. I want the coin store operated one. That's what I want. The rusty one. In fact. And for anyone who doesn't know, go back and watch some of the West Glen shows. You'll see Brian there always talks about he's going to get a pony when he makes it to 100. So now we've just got a pony race. We're going to see who's going to get there first. I have a feeling he's still going to get there first. But then we'll just have matching rusty drugstore ponies.
Yeah.
Is what
you guys will have matching ones. You guys can each pick a color and
then we're off to the races. Which would be just awesome. But I like this one. I kind of want to see what you're going to rank it. Because why not? I'm going to check in. I know what my stuff was. You guys kind of got a sneak peek of mine before. But I still really like this one. So I don't know if I'm going to change it. I've been revamping some of my scoring. So
Yes.
And we did find out that if you pay Untapped a little bit of money, where we thought you could only go in quarters, you can go by 0.1s. So that might be something in the future because I don't always like going, 4.25 or 4. I feel like it's such a big jump. There's times where I might go, you know what, it's a 4.1. I don't necessarily feel like I should round that down because they did better than a normal 4. But I don't know that I should round it up to a 4.25.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're still in 0.1 2.5s right now.
Right.
I've been cheap.
Yeah, we haven't purchased the app yet. Still
But
the free one.
let's see here. What would you rank it? Don't look at mine.
I'm not looking.
Don't.
I'm not looking.
She
So
was
I
looking.
would have to pull up my own Untapped to see what I've ranked it. But for today, I am going to give it a 4.25.
Dang. Now that makes the show not that interesting if we keep scoring it the same.
Well, we have similar tastes. What can I say?
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. But it is funny to see when our stuff is different. There's the occasional.
Occasional. But usually it's not like a huge difference.
Yeah. We did have a really good set of beers yesterday. Well, I'm not normally a Fox Brewing fan, but
they
were
have
actually
some good
had
ones on tap now.
Off the dark. Well, let me preface that. I'm still their lights are still not necessarily what I like, but there was a couple dark ones.
Yes, yeah.
That were relatively impressive.
Right.
One of them we well, I can bring it up.
Right. I'm trying to remember. One was a breakfast stout.
Yeah, I don't have it on here. I must not.
Vanilla and coffee.
Yeah, for some reason, that's funny. It's not matching up in here because it wasn't done on this one.
Oh, right.
Grr. Even though it's got the hall.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. If anything, it'll probably be in my profiles, and you would see which ones I had. But recent activity.
Wow.
Hey, never mind. It's not showing.
Those are old.
Yeah, who knows what this is doing? Never mind.
That's funny.
Never mind. I'll have to figure out what's going on with this thing.
I could pull it up on mine.
Never mind.
You got it? No?
Let's not worry about it.
Okay.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
We're getting off topic.
Yes, we are a little bit.
Wait, why would you let me do that? This is why the show's
so you rated this one the same, 4.25.
4.25. So
all right.
I think that's good enough that we'll just move on. I was going to bring up their website.
They do have a cool, yeah.
No, it's not bad. They have a very simple, to the point website. You can see the color, the hazy color, all that, and that's great. But just a show.
Yep. They say it's an easy drinker. I would agree.
Yeah.
It'd be great for a hot summer day.
But I do want to show that's the type of glass that should be poured in.
Right.
I was going to bring up our handy dandy cheat sheet to show you guys, but it's New England IPA. So for that, yeah, it's pretty much going to be in these stemmed styles. Yeah. So they already showed that. You get that idea. We don't need it. So we're going to move on to the next heavy hitter.
One.
Our weighing in at a cool 16 ounces.
Number 2.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
Is the Surly Furious IPA.
Yeah, which I do want to share something on there. I do want to show theirs.
Yes.
Because if I come back over here and bring up their site, I gotta show. This site is one pretty awesome. Check out the furious, aggressive, iconic, hoppy, all that in the background. Check out that how he took the color. I love the fire pit stuff going on in the background. The 2-row malt, their hops. There's 5 of them: Warrior, Cascade, Simcoe, Amarillo or Amarillo. I mean, just check that out. That's pretty cool. And I like the beer that built Surly, and then you can't hardly see it here. Aggressively hopped and citrusy, but with a chewy caramel backbone. So I love this whole little story on the side. Surly is called Surly due to their inability to find a good beer in town. Surly is one of the first beers we brewed, or Furious is one of the first beers we brewed to rectify that situation. The rest is history. But what's funny is people, as they say, ask us to describe Furious all the time, and it's not quite like any other IPAs. But as you go through it, it's like, what makes Furious Furious? Let's try this. Basically, it's just that it doesn't. It's just gonna punch you with stuff. When you think you're a little off, and you're even, for doing anything, that's a Furious. That's what they're trying to explain for it. That's what it does. And I love this. And there's no one there to see it but you and the dog. So you high five the dog. That's already pretty cool. That basically you're off. Everyone, and even you agree with them. But they obviously did something to change the laws with that, which I need to look into it. They changed some of their state laws based on, because this is part of what built Surly, which Surly is one of our earliest beer manufacturers that we liked.
Yes.
If I remember right.
And they are out of Minnesota. They are not an Iowa brewery. But yeah, actually, I think, when Brian introduced me to craft beer, I think Surly was one of the first ones that he had me try, and it still is one of my favorites.
It was one of the first ones we ever put on tap.
Yes.
And in the kegerator over there, it is one of the first ones we ever put on tap.
Right.
So Surly has always been. We were a big fan of their one-man mosh pit. Which that one you definitely have to tip it if you let it sit for too long. It goes clear, everything goes to the bottom. That's normal in a New England IPA. It'll still taste like a hazy, even though it all of a sudden becomes clear if you let it sit too long. But this one has some cool color. I'm going to go ahead and pop this over.
Yeah, definitely. It's different than the hazy.
Yeah, you'll see. It's a little bit more clear if I put it into the focal plane.
More clear, but it's got a more caramel color.
We should almost here. Let's pour one more of the hazy real quick.
Oh, sure.
Or just a little bit.
Just for a comparison.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna drink it anyway.
Good idea.
So let's put these side by side.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So obviously Surly's there, the darker, and that's the Furious. Which now I got an excuse to drink that other one too. But
right.
We're gonna flip back here.
All right, so this is an IPA. It is going to have a little bit more of a bitter. What is that?
Yeah, we don't have anything popped up on that one.
Right.
The higher IBU. Yes, it is. It is a bitter one.
Yeah. So if you do not like IPAs, you do not like the bitters, you probably won't like this one.
If you don't like the bitters.
You don't like the bitters.
I'm gonna pop this up because I want people to see. All right, no beer here. Wine in the fridge.
That sounds like a very reasonable excuse to drink a white wine.
That sounds
I like
great.
that.
And it's a great day for it. It's actually pretty nice. It was supposed to rain and it sprinkled here, but
it did sprinkle here. We were going for a bike ride and it decided to just drop a few sprinkles on us right before we left.
Figures. But if you're new here still, say hi. We're gonna keep talking about beer. We don't have the pop up for the IPA, so I'm just gonna flip on over and show you guys about the style. So an IPA, especially an American IPA, which is this one, characterized by floral, fruity, citrusy-like, piney. I want to point that out. Piney is what you normally can tell that kind of denotes most IPAs. When you're trying to put your finger on the flavor, you'll normally, just like with a hazy, you'll hear juicy. Piney is pretty normal to hear for an IPA. And resin, but you can kind of read down through. They're known for being a little bit more bitter. And it's one of the highest entered categories in the American Beer Festival, or the Great American Beer Festival, for more than a decade. Wow. And one of the top selling craft beers. Wow. So I like to show that, because I find that kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
But just kind of show you a little bit of Surly Furious there. It's 100 IBU. It's had over 132,000 check-ins.
Yeah, it's quite popular. It's been around for a while.
Yeah. So you can tell that's it's got some stuff going on there.
And yes, you do get that bitter on the back of your tongue. But I still like this one. If I'm in the mood for an IPA and I'm going, doing something different other than a hazy, I like the IPAs. I like this one. If I see this up on the menu, this is one I will consider getting wherever I am.
I'm going to pop back over here. I love, because, again, Surly just is normal to have with, it seems like with a fire pit.
Look at that fire pit. That's sweet.
Yeah, so that's quite frequent. Always with the dog. I always like that they have them with the dog.
Yes. So
I'm just showing some photos there. But around the fire pit, I love the almost tossed in one. I was really thinking maybe they'd have some at the brewery, but I'm not seeing any there. It got pushed out. That's the thing, is so many people like and drink this one that the photos I looked at earlier are already being pushed out. But, I mean, even monthly, total, this has actually had more check-ins than I thought, because when I go a little bit farther, everyone I know, over 314. You'll get that kind of Hoppy, malty, smooth, piney. Again, piney
Yes.
is very common to hear from an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's not uncommon for people to not necessarily like IPAs when they're first starting out because of that. But that's why I say when people say they don't like craft beers, they probably tried an IPA first because it is one of the most highly entered areas for competition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably something they tried. So if you don't like the IPA, try the New England IPA. They will be drastically different, and this is a good way to kind of start building your way towards possibly liking this one. I mean, most people don't take a swig. I took a swig of coffee and instantly loved it. But most people don't take a swig of coffee and instantly like it. Most of you guys probably didn't even take a swig of scotch and instantly like it. Although I think you
I might have.
It depends on the right scotch or the right bourbon. You know,
yes.
Kind of like vodka. You start with Hawkeye vodka. You might not. You might never try vodka again.
Well, yeah, true. But
because that's a cleaner.
Yes.
I'm gonna get
right.
Used to hate IPA. I was the same way when I first got into it. I tried an IPA and it about killed me out from it, and luckily that when I was in Seattle and learning a chunk of it, because that's where I really first got into craft beer, or learned a little. Like I said, at that one tap house where I still got the growler.
Mm-hmm.
They said, no, we're going to start you with a lager and an ale, and then we're going to let you work from there. And then they actually had me try a New England back then. And work my way. It was run by a company called Pyramid, and that's what got me. That's what I bought in the growler. Eventually, actually, at the end of the night, was a very light filtered. Well, not light filtered. It was very almost in between a New England IPA and an IPA by Pyramid. Okay. And it's still. I wish I could get that beer here. I can't remember the name of it, but it's by the brewery Pyramid. But we don't see Pyramid in this area.
Right.
So just one more excuse that my friend Nathan will say I need to come up and visit.
I agree.
Olympia area.
We definitely need to go.
To go hit up all those and then hit up the Pyramid Brewery. But not that I'm not still a big fan of my craft beer. I'm rocking the bike shirt because I had on the regular 4-leaf clover or one the
regular
birthday one
shirt.
Since they canceled my birthday this year.
And they did. I'm
rocking this one because we rode up there and I thought this looks kind of cool. And I was lazy to change. Well, Aaron's rocking the
bikes and beers.
You know, the socially distancing. If we turn around, it's got a whole socially distancing. Bikesandbeers.com. If you want to join the team, so Bikes and Beers is running right now. And if you look at it, bikesandbeers.com, there we have a team.
You can join our team.
Now, we haven't logged a whole lot of miles because there's a whole of 2 of us on there. And it's just for fun. You can pay to get cool stuff. They give you tokens to get beers at a few places, and there's some nice little treats in it. And then you enter in a raffle. It's not expensive. But you can join our team. Just look for Glitch. Is it Glitched?
I think it's just 2600. Glitched. I think it's just Glitched.
If you guys are interested, message me through Facebook. I will make sure you get the link and the code to join our team. If you want, we would love to have you guys from the internet. If you came and drink with us on the show, why not come and virtually drink with us on
bike rides?
Yeah, because you'll see some stuff there. We'll probably add some Instagram in the future.
Yes,
and do all that fun stuff. But we'll get back to the beer at hand. We've both liked this. We've covered it. We've talked about it. In the past, I can tell you I've checked in at a 4.25. I'm not going to hide it this time. This is one I've had, so you know, it's still one of those that's pretty high in my wheelhouse. Now, I will say, based on my current scoring, I'm going to knock that one down to a 4. Not because it's bad. It's still one of the better ones out there.
Right.
It's my new scoring.
And I would be on the fence. Like, I still like this one a lot, and I would normally give it a 4.25, but only because I kind of liked the DrugStore Cowboy that we just had a little bit better, and I gave that a 4.25.
Compare one to the other. We should compare in the same realm.
Possibly, so I don't know. I'm on the fence. A 4 or 4.25, or somewhere in the middle would be great.
Either way, they're great around the fire pit later when we want to have that.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
So
it's going to be great.
Hold on to that one.
So, are you ready to move on to our last one?
To the most Excuse me, I got hiccups now for days. The most important
This is the most
drink
important
that we're having tonight. So this is the one we've all been waiting for. And again, I see people new out there. If you're new, say hi, jump in. We're gonna keep drinking along. But we'd love to know what you're drinking. Love to have you on, and talk with us. Just say hi. If you're too shy for it, that's fine. You can put it on there, say hi, and we won't pop it up on the screen. But we're gonna get to the heavy hitter here.
Drum roll, please.
We're gonna have the 50s Dad. Very important because it's Father's Day and we love the 50s Dad.
And I was looking at the label. It's from 2017. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, we would on the other camera, but that one works too. so that was from 2017. We lucked out. Matt from Wine Styles had one in the back.
Thanks, Matt.
And we had basically bought them out of stock before, and he found one in the back that he was holding for him and Brian, and they said, all right, fine, we'll give it to you.
Oh, look at that. It's got some fizz in there.
It's got some fizz, showing that beers can stay around longer than you think. All right.
Sorry.
She's interrupting me while I'm on my spiel and just throwing it all up.
I'm sorry.
Got to work on your stage presence. I'm just kidding. She's got better. She looks better on stage than me.
Oh, I don't know about that.
We'll go there.
Look at that
camera
beauty.
For that one. What? Jumping the gun on which one we bring it up on.
I'm just so excited.
She is. She's so excited. She just can't hide it. I'd say she's about to lose control, but she thinks she likes it, so it's good. Yeah, I could go through the whole song. You can see it's dark, it's hazy, or it's dark, it's caramely, it's all the things that we love, and then some. Don't be looking at my screen. You got your own stuff. This is your own. This is your one you love.
This is my favorite. Yes.
And I'm not gonna pop up any other description on here. They do a great job on here. It is a stout, or a milk stout. And I love they always put their fun stories in there. 50s dad, a dad who wakes up, throws on his robe, strolls down to the kitchen. There's a shot of bourbon and his steaming cup of coffee. Already, this makes it one of my favorite things. Now, obviously, there's vanilla beans. They use Madagascar vanilla beans, which we just learned from the Bonbon class, not necessarily cheap and not necessarily easy to work in there.
Yeah.
And they use that. They use a ton of that in here. In fact, I've got some stats and some info on there. But as I'm trying to scroll on that screen, you can see this is a 7.8 ABV. There isn't really any IBUs listed on there. But I have some notes, and I'm gonna pop them up on this screen so I can bring them through to kind of talk about it, because that 50s dad, as I bring up my handy dandy notes again, if you're new out there, say hi and let us know what you're drinking. But 50s dad is based on Confluence's Milkman Stout. It's a later iteration of that. It was the first one of their stuff put in cans, which is good to know. First time in cans, modeled off after Milkman, aged in bourbon barrels, and they add coffee, vanilla beans, and chocolate. But the important thing from the chocolate, they found when they were first doing it, they couldn't just put chocolate in there. In fact, they did, but there's a lot of particulate, and they had to figure out how to filter that out and get that down, and without filtering the beer per se. So they found another thing called cholaka, which is a derivative of the cacao bean, and it's a water-based liquid. So they only believe in using natural and using the actual product. So this is still part of the product. It's not like it's refined anything out of there. It's just basically a part of it, and that's pre-filtered chocolate that you can get, kind of like when you squeeze the cacao bean. So it still has chocolate, but they found that caused then less particulates. So the nice thing is they told me all about this, which was really awesome for them to do on the phone. Great in brewing because it drops out of suspension. That's one of the things they mentioned. But they've worked with Friedrich's Coffee, which is a place in town. And they make a 50-pound batch of cold brew and add it directly in.
That sounds amazing.
So it's got to smell just great while they're doing this.
I know.
Because it's just I could just almost smell a wafting of the coffee just coming in. I get that.
That would be a good day to work.
And the label, they changed some of the label for cans over time, because the first time when they first did it, there's two different types of labels. The older one. So the newer one, if I think if I pop over to Untap, I can show.
This is the one that is
So
on
this is the
bottle.
older
Yes.
label, which you can kind of see. So what they did, go ahead and show that back up there. I want to show. You notice there's a lady pouring the beer and coffee in. So it's not much of a change. But let me switch over to the handy dandy Untapped. And you can kind of see here.
Ah.
She disappeared.
Look at that.
They never had a complaint. So let me preface that. They never got in any trouble. There's nothing like that. But they just had the forethought with all the things going on that they said, you know what? They didn't want it to seem like the girl was serving. So they, and sure. That it was a role thing there. I mean, it is based on the 50s. So take things on what it was and where it was at the time.
Right.
And with that, but most people don't know is the Milkman Stout itself is, if I switch back to my notes, Milkman, the guy on the label is a callback to the owner's wife's dad. So essentially, if you extrapolate that, the woman pouring the beer for 50's dad, since 50's dad is basically still modeled after the Milkman Stout and kind of throw back there, then it's probably just the owner's mom pouring some for the dad. So so it's really nothing bad.
Right.
But they went ahead and changed the label. So that's how you can kind of tell an older one versus a new is whether the woman is on the label or not. So if you're really little trivia,
that's interesting.
Woman on the label.
Love that story.
And it's gone. Women not on the label.
It's a newer one.
It's a newer. It's a I can't remember if you said it was 2019 or 2020. It literally was this pretty recent. So if you see one with the women on the front, it's an older one. Grab that.
Right.
They're pretty good about putting the year on it, but grab it.
Yes.
And if you don't want it, grab it, message us. We'll get it from you and take it off your hands.
Gladly.
I mean, if anything, we should have a network of people that if they don't want the beer, we can network across each other because we're not allowed to ship, but we're not a company, so
right.
So legalities.
All right, I'm ready to taste.
I'm probably gonna get myself in trouble if I keep saying that we're
maybe we should drink
here.
instead.
There we go. She's like,
Oh, I love this one.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
That is so good.
That's the crack right there.
That is. I love this one. It's just an easy, dark stout. It's smooth. It's coffee, chocolate. I mean, you get all of those flavors.
Well, the thing is, it's bourbon. It's aged in a bourbon barrel, but it's so smooth that even this one, Matt was curious what it would do as it laid down, and it actually, if anything, just got better.
Right. Well, I think. And it was aged at 6 months in the barrel age, the bourbon barrel.
Yeah. So essentially, you're getting a level of aging on top of it in the bottle. So you're getting bottle conditioned aging by proxy of the fact it was set down.
And then it's like, 3 years old since then.
I gotta pop this one up. Aaron says, "Shut up and drink." Yes.
LOL. Yes.
That's this is my life.
This one is awesome. If you can find 50's Dad out there, it is worth the purchase. Get it, try it.
It doesn't taste.
My favorite.
Some people complain on those types that are bourbon barrel aged that they feel is too boozy. I actually like those, but it doesn't taste like if you've ever had it or those type and you go, hey, it tastes like motor oil, or it's that, or not necessarily motor oil. It has the consistency of motor oil. We kind of joke around on that, because it pours out and looks like that. This isn't that type. It's not. I mean, I don't see anyone with a descriptor of boozy. They get the bourbon. You get a little. But you definitely get the coffee, the vanilla, and the chocolate. And what I would say is a perfect mixture.
Yes.
And I'm pretty critical on a level of my stouts. And even this one was one of them that I was willing to talk to and track down and try to get on my keg tap here.
Yes, and we tried, but
we tried everywhere.
No
even with our friends at Wine's House, Brian was thinking about selling this one, but they literally tapped out so quickly. We didn't have any to sell us, which luckily they gave us another one that was really great, but we took half of what was a half close to I think of what was in there,
about half,
because they had another really good one in town that we'll cover at some point.
Yes, at some point.
I won't preface that one, but it's really, really good. Not quite 50s Dad,
Nope.
but it was the best Matt could do for us. So
Right.
just another throwback to wine styles that when you have something you really like and you're in that area, or you know a wine style's in your area, we love ours. But if you're in another area, they have good people. They train their people. They have conventions that train everyone at the franchises at different ones. But if you have a profile of something you like, tell them it. And if they can't get it, they can normally recommend something really great for you to try also to expand.
Definitely.
I mean, really, we just had that conversation not that long ago with
Yes,
them.
we did.
Just this week about where we started and how. Hey,
We've
now,
come a long way.
now, where, when, how. So much so that we have a show where we talk about
Craft beer and wine.
And eventually wine's going to make it on here.
Yes, eventually wine's.
More.
We just have, quite a few of our beers in our fridge that we wanted to share with you guys.
We keep getting new ones. Like Confluence comes out with two. They came out with 2 new this week, and I had the intention not getting one of them. I went, you know what? There's a honey kolsch and there was a radler. I was like, we'll get the radler. It's summer. It's going to feel great. The kolsch is not quite warm enough, and I don't like those super light ones. And then I decided to get a sample while I was there. Or not a sample, I got a glass.
Yeah.
But I bought a glass. They poured it, and it was the darkest kolsch I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, ooh, we'll see how this goes. First sip, and I was like, this is the best of them. The best kolsch I've ever had. And I've had cucumber ones and the others. I wasn't a huge kolsch fan, and now I like the
All right.
kolsch.
And maybe
So
we
that'll
can
be on a future one.
Yes, a future one. Maybe next week or
Maybe next week, unless I drink them all first, which is a possibility.
maybe one of these days we could do a beer and a bottle of wine.
Yeah, we'll do something like that. If there's stuff that you want us to cover, want to talk, who knows, we might do one by the fire pit someday.
That would be fun.
Because like I said, we got the new camera. We bought new toys that we're going to be doing a few things with on there. Eventually, I got to get sponsored by someone because I don't think you're going to let me keep buying toys if I don't get sponsored by preferably a brewery. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I'm just kidding. We don't really, I do want to throw back to kind of show over here our Confluence tin.
Yes.
Really nice. Any place we go, we do like to throw them up. They're going to become part of our bar off to the side. But of all the breweries, we are a big Iowa brewery.
Iowa
fans.
breweries. There's so many in Iowa that you don't even realize. They're out
starting
there.
up new. There's some amazing ones. This week was the Cider Brew Fest, which we jumped in on their happy hour.
Great.
And talked with them. We caught the very end. Some really great tours out there. So the Iowa Brewers Guild helped put that on, and it was a nice distanced one. You could watch it at some breweries.
Right.
Seeing some of the new ones starting up, even in the midst of all this stuff,
and
thriving,
faring well,
is really good to see. But then, just in general, it's been that was a lot of fun. It
was fun.
We talked to them, and they were great. Who knows? We offered
nice people.
We offered some tech help, so we'll see if that ever comes to.
Yeah,
we'll see, but
that would be great.
But we do know there's going to be some cool Iowa craft beer stuff coming up soon. If you're a fan of the Iowa craft beer tent, if you're in that area, if you're not, then when we talk about it, when we see it, and bring it up, then I would suggest road trip. Or more
to Iowa.
Road trip. Heck, we could have a glitch meetup if you're from out of town. We could socially distance if you'd like. I'll wear a mask with a hole through it so I can sip my beer. Or it's going to be a lot of... If you want me to wear a mask around you, we'll have our glitch show that way.
Yes.
I will say if people traveled to that or came up to the Wine Styles Forum from out of town, I will make time to say hi.
Yes, and when we have more info on all of that fun stuff, we will share that with you.
This one, since it was poured.
I know, right? Well, and I finished mine. I was going to say cheers, but
cheers. Beer, fine.
Cheers to Father's Day Sunday. And
that's not very socially. I don't think I have to socially distance from her.
Yeah, we live together.
Yeah. That's what she said. I've never seen her before in my life. She just showed up here.
He thinks he's so funny.
She just showed up here. Just knocked and it's like, I like craft beer. I was like, oh, okay,
Here I am.
come on down.
Let me taste the beers you got.
Actually, it was more the other way around. This is her place. I just showed up and knocked. It went, hey, I hear you like craft beer, and she went, and then let me in, which I don't know what she was thinking. I like it. You like the Kolsch's? The cucumber Kolsch on a hot day. I will say, on a hot day, a cucumber Kolsch, pretty good. But I do really love this honey. I don't want to go into too much detail because I want to cover it in another. But I actually did really love this last one.
Sarah, you'll have to come over maybe and try the Kolsch we got and see if you like it.
I'll have to say, I'm going to have to write another, Sarah's beer on one of these notes over there. Or I guess it's not like I'm not going to see you probably like 2-3 times this week.
Oh yeah, we'll see you quite a few times.
Yeah, we're pretty much going to be living at Whitesdells this week. So if you like this, I don't even think we're going to have a Tech Tuesday this week because we have a Tuesday show.
Because the chocolate.
Which is why, true. I will say they do have their place. But I will say, if you guys do have ideas for our kind of Tech Tuesday, which we've kind of joked around, Tech TV, our Tech Q&A, if you guys have a cool name for it, the reason why we want to get away from Tech Tuesday from the name is because of these schedules.
Right.
This Tuesday we might not be able to. We might have to skip it because or it'll just be a late night Tech Tuesday. I mean, technically, I guess Brian would probably let me do a Tech Tuesday after, and
right.
I might be doing it live from Wine Styles. In fact, we'll work that out. We'll figure that out. We might be doing a live afterwards. Maybe Sarah will jump in. Brian, it'll be the craziest Tech Tuesday we've ever had. But since Brian's always sending me some extra tech questions, he could be there live asking tech questions.
Yeah, he gives you a lot of
stuff to think on.
Good stuff for the show.
In a good way. I love his questions. He's got great. He actually asks great questions for it. He's amazing for it, and we cover some cool stuff.
It's all good. And then my mom and your mom likes to add a lot of info for the show too.
Yeah. There's a fun story about my mom, but Tech Today.
Today.
To me, that almost feels like a news one. I do like that idea though, so we're gonna vamp on this idea.
I like it.
Tech Today.
I like it.
I do like that. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, I like it.
I do like that, but it feels like news. But I guess I could work in some tech news as part of it. It's the Q&A and
amazing, Sarah.
Sarah, you're awesome. If I get a logo, you'll be getting some swag. Well, you would have anyway, but
yes,
you don't have to wear it though.
And anybody new out there watching, Sarah was on our show last week, filling in for me for my day off.
I just love that. Yes. I love Brian. I love the whole White Styles crew, but it's great. Yeah. It's fun. He's got great questions, but some of his questions are fun. Yeah, definitely catch the last episode. You'll see some stuff where Brian jumped in and talked. It was wonderful, and it was great having Sarah on, and then on top of that, we did a little on location at Ceviche. So another little callback, just if you're in this area and if you do make a trip to Des Moines,
right,
in Iowa, and you want to, we went and had a great time at Sarah's recommendation at Ceviche Bar.
An authentic Cuban restaurant. Very authentic.
Great outside patio area.
Beautiful.
Inside the food, the drink, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I had their Cuban, and
it was fun. It was great.
I'm like salivating now thinking about it. And we did a little bit of. I did a quick little live to kind of show the place off, and it does not do it justice. You got to go in and see it. Mm-hmm. There's a cool little bar downstairs too.
Mm-hmm. A tequila bar.
Yeah, there's some. We had one with some hot in there, which was I don't mind that.
I liked it. It was good.
It was a very cool place. There was a cool DJ on there. But I will say Ceviche itself, it's right on the corner, close to the Iowa Tap Room, so you could hit a few different places, after that. But, we thought we were going to hit a few different places, and
we just kind of hung out there for a while because
really
it was just comfortable. The atmosphere was fun. The people who worked there were amazing, and we just had a great time.
I will say, and it was Sarah's recommendation, Ceviche Bar. If you're in Des Moines, in Iowa, if you're just visiting, if you're driving through on I-80, take a detour off, hit the tap room, hit Peachtree, and then hit Ceviche and have a bite to eat there. Have a good drink. Maybe wait a second before going back out on the road because I'm promoting, responsible.
Safe. Yes.
But that's where you can go hang out on the patio. There's a nice hotel not that far away. Also, you can always make it a night. And if you are, let us know. We'll come say hi. I'll make new friends. It'll be really really interesting for that. But no, and let the ceviche people know. And once you do, give them a good review because they are really great. Everyone there. The server was amazing. The owner seems amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I can't say enough great things about that experience. It was wonderful. It was good to have great company too. We all love Sarah too, but even without Sarah, it was just a really cool place.
Good. Yes, very nice place.
So I think that's probably going to give us a wrap.
I think we're ready to wrap.
You guys all know how to subscribe. You can figure that out. You can fast forward to the beginning where we already talked about that. Fast forward, rewind, whichever way.
Yeah.
It's Back to the Future. It's all relative. I'm a physicist.
Don't forget to like our page and definitely check out the.
Get ready for the
tech today.
Yeah, we'll say we're going to ramp on, but I like that. I like that so much. Yes, locally owned and operated.
True.
Support your local businesses.
Yes, especially in these times.
But especially, it's such a great thing to see. I still can't just say enough good things. So many of the local companies have done so great. I'm actually happy to see some of the not so local ones. And not that I wish bad things on them. They're fine. I just love seeing the local businesses hopefully thrive and just
come out ahead.
And more people realize how great they have in their area. So
yes, for sure.
But that's a different show for a different day because I've already talked for too much.
Thanks for joining us.
We loved having you.
Happy Sunday.
Catch us on the next one.
Bye, all.